We are 6 days away from WrestleMania. Braun's twin makes his debut. And does silence mean no? And if you want lightning, you need to be the thunder. All that and more on the next Raw on AFTERBUZZ TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
That you can outdo my 1-2 that's sick like the flu. Shake 'em down, boy. I flip
Little volume, little lights.
That's pageantry right there. That's pageantry from Anthony.
And my my headphones are a little bit low, Tony. Welcome, guys, to Raw on AFTERBUZZ TV. Y'all don't be coming for me. I read the comments.
Hating hard. Hating on you.
I'm just doing my job.
Doing the thing.
I can't. And the thing is, like, I don't know. I feel like I need to be working harder because the rest of the panel, like, they're on the grind all the time. So if you notice, we are missing some people. And it looks like I just erased. Oh no, we are missing some people. We might have a special guest later on in the show. But Markeita's out. She's hustling, so she's not like just sitting home watching us. Like, she wants to be here. Johnny is out. He's hustling. And Brandon's out. He's hustling. So. Again, don't come for me. I'm reading your comments. If you do not want to see a new paddle, you can turn out right now.
Turn off. Turn it off.
Like I'm the lower man on the totem pole. I just showed up literally 6 weeks ago, and I'm here. So just saying. All right, for our guest host today, we have Cameron Rice from Hyper RPG.
Hello, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
We have America's Sweetheart.
Right.
I've been Mack.
Yo, what up?
I need to put the chat on a separate screen on my computer because I'm sure this is.
Yo, holla at your boy.
All right, so let's. There's a lot, but it's kind of one of those things where every week it seemed to switch up. Like 1 week it seemed like really heavy on matches. 1 week seemed like it's very more soap opera style, and then it kind of switch up. So this week it seemed more setting us up because next week is the week. Are any of you guys going?
I'm gonna be in Tokyo, man. That's my first Mania I'm missing in like 6 years, though. Man.
I mean, I'll take Tokyo. What are you doing in Tokyo?
I'm depressed. I don't know. I'm gonna try to catch Mania.
I mean,
at a bar,
middle of the night.
For real.
You can give me the Tokyo tickets, and I can get you tickets to Mania.
That's a nice switch right there. I mean,
I'll go to Tokyo.
That's what's up. I'm just a little depressed because the streaks ended. Man, had like a little Undertaker streak going. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm 6-0 at WrestleMania, going to all WrestleManias, but
oh boy,
streaks coming to an end.
I will. I'll be in LA. I'll be watching on TV in LA.
All right. So are you going to Tokyo to work or what?
Literally just to take pictures, being a black man in Tokyo.
Well, then that's your fault. You should have known when to book it. Like, I'm not.
Mania is the same time every year.
Yeah.
Usually.
No, but that's the thing because
it's
it's in the Superdome. I was already there. I was like, oh, that's a sign. Like I need to do this Tokyo trip right now because they was already there like a few years ago. That was my sign. You know what I'm saying? It's still depressing, TK.
Speaking of signs, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, they attacked Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. So they came. They almost did like a UFC debut.
Yeah.
So it felt reminiscent of, and I know they've done this on plenty of times, but the most recent one I can think of is the Mayweather-McGregor thing where they traveled all over the world and they came up and they did the discussions and, somebody talked about somebody's mama, somebody talked about somebody else's mama. Yeah. They said, it's going to go down, somebody's going to beat somebody. Then they have a face-off, but it wasn't supposed to be a face-off because coach is like, it's not really a face-off like that cheesy other place, which he's trying to diss UFC, which is not good. Then they have the face-off, and then I like Stephanie didn't back down because she was in backing down. I feel like she was kind of acting like a punk the earlier weeks.
Yeah. Right.
I like the fact that I know that she can't compare to Ronda, but I like the fact that she stood her ground. So
there was two things that stood out to me. Was first of all, when Stephanie put her through the table, she kept pointing at her and putting her arm there. I thought Ronda was gonna grab her.
Yeah.
And like armbar right there. Didn't happen. I thought they were really telegraphing it. And I guess the table move killed Ronda because Angle was then throughout Raw. Ronda nowhere to be seen.
When else is she supposed to show up though?
I don't know. You think there'd be something at the end. But I think it killed her. So Angle's in a handicap match now, judging by the show. But yeah, it's so funny because actually last night I watched the McGregor documentary that's on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It was. So if you guys haven't watched it, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I would have liked watching it more before he went up against Mayweather.
Right.
It kind of, because I know he's like, obviously I'm not taking away from his work ethic, but like the whole thing of Mayweather, it just leaned more towards douchey.
It was a dog and pony show. There was a lot of bells and whistles.
Whereas this, and I saw it before that match, I would have appreciated it more.
Oh yeah, his toughness, his grit, his grind, his come up. It'd have been a little bit.
Yeah, but I thought the same thing watching that opening segment. I was like, oh, this feels like a UFC kind of thing, just less water bottles being thrown, and shirts being taken off for no reason.
No reason.
I mean, I'm sure. Have you guys been following Stephanie on her Instagram? And she's getting in. I mean, they showed it last week, but she's been getting work, so she's been doing it. So maybe she does have a six-pack underneath that. That's
it could happen.
I can appreciate that. She like 2 or 3 kids that she has.
I'll let you go.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm very interested to see how this match actually plays out.
Right.
Because they've been showing us all the segments of Ronda training, but I'm wondering if this is going to mostly be a Triple H angle match with Ronda arm barring for the tap at the end.
Interesting.
I'd like to be wrong, but I'd be shocked if this match was longer than 8 minutes.
Think so, huh?
I mean, I think for it to maintain our interest and not for us to see her flaws, then that would make sense. If it goes any longer, then you're going to start seeing the chinks in the armor, and she hasn't been able to build that up in a live performance against folks. So.
Yeah, they might give her one off the top rope move. She might do one thing off the top rope just so you can have Cole go, we've never seen Ronda do anything like this before! My God!
Damn, okay.
That might be the one thing.
Okay. Are you like looking forward to it? What's the deal?
Oh, I'm down. I said I just want to see her in the ring. It's that WrestleMania moment. If you ever been there, if you ever see it on TV, it's like you just want to get that feel, the crowd, and it's just to see the atmosphere. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean? Like she'll get better with time.
Right.
She's going to be nervous no matter how many big matches she's had in the octagon. There's nothing like 70,000.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and that's why it's one of her dreams because she's never seen that. Like, and if you hear anybody recount their WrestleMania moments, they always like 70,000 people, 80,000 people, and they really tell how that took them over. So I'm interested to see how she handles that moment.
I'm also interested to see what Triple H's entrance is for this
Mania. Seriously.
Because he's done Terminator, Mad Max. I'm like, what movie came out last year? I'm like, Stephanie could be Wonder Woman, I guess. But I don't know what Triple H can do.
It's always possible. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the match, but I'm also like the same thing, kind of hesitant because I don't want... I'm hoping she's going to do well. She did seem more comfortable today as far as talking.
Yeah.
Which the fact that that's only been, 4 or 5 weeks that she's been on the contract.
Really?
I mean, it seems like if she's getting used to that, then, that's something to look forward to.
Step in the right direction.
Step in the right direction. So moving on, Bayley defeats Sonya Deville. It's really, Sonya Deville is looking great.
Yes.
So, I mean, we already know that it's just a matter of time. Obviously, not next week or 6 months from now, but there's going to be a build-up and there's going to be a nice storyline because she just has a good package.
Yep.
Especially with, her whole crew. So we already knew, Bayley's going to... Well, we didn't know, but I kind of figured that was going to happen. And it's more about Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Yeah.
So, they finish the match. Absolution tries to take down Bayley. Sasha comes in, saves her friend. She's like, I just saved you. Let's, celebrate. Bayley's like, nah, trick. It's not going to happen.
It's over.
Yeah. So what do you think of this this friendship, this relationship?
Do you care? Do you care about this match?
It's hard because, we can talk about a lot of this, especially with the Nia Jax Alexa Bliss thing.
Right.
I tweeted about this, that as good as the women's matches are, and they're great, and there's all these specials on the network that are dedicated to how great women's wrestling is, and they're there. But I feel like a lot of the storylines, not all, but a lot of the women's storylines are still... We were friends and you betrayed me.
Right.
You're ugly. You're this.
Right.
And they're kind of
like a mean girl type thing.
There's these mean girl, women can't actually be friends thing that is gross. And I don't get it because we've seen the best friends betray each other storylines in the men's division when it's like Sammy and Kevin or Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Right.
And it never is like this weird, but you were my friend and you're breaking my heart kind of thing.
Oh, I know what you mean.
And the whole impetus of it was that Bayley was like, you screwed me over in an elimination chamber, but I'm like, it wasn't a tag match. It was a wrestling match where every person was for themselves. And they can't seem to know whether they want to pull the trigger on Sasha being a heel or not, because in the Rumble, she was pretty aggressive, and in the elimination chamber, she was really aggressive. So it's like, oh, they're finally going to... And then the WWE did their thing where they're like, actually, it'll be Bayley who's going to be the heelish one.
Did you notice, and I might be totally wrong, did you notice her outfit? It was kind of it was kind of one side was dark and one side was more light. I don't know if that was
there's probably something
implied, but it just seems like it might be implied.
A little mean streak Bayley,
those little things. I don't care. care.
And isn't that a shame considering these two had like the match of the year like
Yeah.
2-3 years ago?
Tore the doors down.
And now they're facing each other at Mania, and everyone's just like, whatever.
Well, because there's so many. I mean, I think this is. I think this is every year. There's so many. Every match can't be a great match, else
Right.
you'll be totally exhausted and nobody will go home. They'll just literally sleep in the stadium because
Right.
it's just so much excitement. So you have to almost balance it out with you have a great match and then you have a match that's like, okay, cool.
The lull.
It's the same thing
Yeah.
with music and albums. They can't have an upbeat thing the whole time, else literally like you will, beat your head into the wall and that will be the end of you.
Seriously.
So, I definitely understand where they're coming from. I definitely agree with you as far as the friendship and the women thing, but you're coming from a male perspective,
Sure,
and I think
100%.
with females, those relationships are, I don't want to say a little bit more important, but I know a lot of dudes, they're like Lone Rangers. They have friends, but like
It's not their
they don't
end all
have
be all.
friends.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I know. I just think it's maybe more is that a lot. I mean, and it's been talked about that like WWE's writers' room is almost all men but one woman, and it kind of feels like it's more of a Vince thing, being like, eventually all women want to betray each other, and less of a friendship is important, and more of like a you can't trust them.
Right,
kind of
which
thing.
is, I mean, we're in the era of Me Too, and
Yeah.
there's been a lot of change, but
Still.
it seems like with WWE. I mean, just look at I've just finished binge watching Lucha Underground, the first season. Still have 2 more to go, but I mean, just look at like Sexy Star in Lucha. She's battling dudes. Like
Yeah, she's on another level.
She's literally doing stuff that the women in WWE can do, but they are just kind of testing the water with the mixed match challenge.
Yeah.
And even in the mixed match challenge, they have to go female against female, guy
Yeah, they're
against guy.
dipping
and
their
it's
toe
just
in it
like-
a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think it's the reason, to me at least, the storyline that's really grabbing me is more Asuka Charlotte, because that's more of a who's better.
Yeah.
Who's better, and it's not about like you hurt my feelings at a thing.
Yeah,
And
this
they
is,
both
yeah.
have dominant storylines, meaning
Yes.
that obviously Charlotte is a pedigree
Yeah.
and she's amazing, and then Asuka,
Icon.
500 plus.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely 2 storylines, and it's almost like the playground, like who's faster, who's better,
Yep.
and you literally just leave it out on the ring.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So I definitely think that match will be really, really good. I'm looking forward to that. But the Bailey one, not so much. Seth Rollins defeats Finn Ballard.
It was a match, man.
It was a long match.
That match was incredible, though.
And
It really was.
the match itself was great, and those two
Man.
left it all. They were
Right.
sweating messes by the end.
But Mrs. Commentary.
But I
Always
don't
on
know.
fire.
I don't think WWE wanted us to care about the match because the amount of time they kept cutting to the Miz at the promo at the table,
And
just
Monroe
talking.
Sky.
Monroe.
Sorry.
Which is like, and I get it's a huge thing in Miz's life, but I'm like, do you want us to pay attention to this match? And then they had a WrestleMania commercial about like AJ and Shinsuke that was bigger than the match, and I'm like, you clearly do not want me to care about this.
But if you cut through all that stuff, you just said all valid points, man.
Right.
That match was a barn
It was a-
burner.
it was.
It was a clean victory by Seth.
Yeah.
Curb stomp. It was like reversal. It was kick out after kick out. It was
Yeah.
everything out on the ring, on the floor, everywhere. It was like
yeah.
it was. I was blown away. I was like, this is a Monday Night Raw match before WrestleMania. These boys are putting that on the line.
Oh yeah.
Say that for Sunday.
And there was a great little moment where it looked like Rollins was going to try and do the same move to Finn from SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, what a great little moment. And I kind of wonder, it's one of those matches where I think if you were there live, you'd be like, this is incredible. But
Right.
watching it on TV, I just want to be like, get all the shit out of the way.
Well, I think it may have been intentional. It was
Yeah.
it was a good match, which it seems terrible because you're now sacrificing these people's bodies to be the backdrop to the rest of the entertainment.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the Miz has been saying all along that WWE doesn't treat him right and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And kudos to him because he literally just had his baby, I believe, last week. I don't remember exactly what day it was.
Yeah.
Last week they posted pictures, all that good stuff, and he got to talk about his daughter during the segment. But it just, again, I'm still debating whether this is true or not, because in real life this is definitely true. Like, you're the worker who shows up on time and does all that stuff, they're the ones that usually get crapped on.
Yeah.
So the fact that his daughter is born and he's in Atlanta, he lives in LA, and he's in Atlanta, there to talk
Yeah.
speaks volumes.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of sort of mentioned that. So if they are not crapping on him, but they actually like him, but that's the storyline, and they gave him a platform to talk about his daughter and the birth,
Right.
that's really cool. If not, and he just talks about his daughter birth because he wants to, still cool.
Oh yeah.
So definitely looking forward to this match. I'm pretty glad because in Total Divas, that was the thing when they announced that Maurice's pregnant. They're at the doctor and he's like,
Yeah.
Is she gonna be born? Can we schedule this before WrestleMania? So it looks like he got his wish. So congratulations to Miz and Maurice. Braun Strowman.
Boy, is this man?
He debuts with his twin.
Yeah.
Brain.
Yeah.
But
Listen, like, I don't need a partner. Yeah, hey, Anthony in the building. DJ.
Brain ain't done with you yet.
Braun, he can do anything, man, apparently, man, because the crowd went nuts on that part.
yeah, and it shows that he's so versatile. Like when I was first introduced to him, it's like, all right, he's big.
Yeah.
Oh, he can move. Oh, he can talk. Oh, he's funny.
Yeah.
And then he has a twin.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, 2 Brauns.
Yeah, I really actually enjoyed the bit. This is a perfect example, though, of something where I'm like, oh, man, the bit works so good. And then the commentators start talking.
But Corey sold it so well, though. Corey's surprised.
Oh, no. Corey, I loved Corey. It was more like there was never, and you know, not everything could be as it was when we were kids. But I'm trying to think if this was JR and the King would have been like, it's Brain, JR, and you would have just heard JR go like, oh my god, like selling hard.
But Corey was going and he was like, man, I just didn't know, man. The resemblance is uncanny.
I know, but there was no counterbalance, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, Grace is all alone. He's on an island by himself, like, hey guys, I'm selling this.
Trying real hard, but
hard.
I dug that bit. I'm very interested to see what is going to be the tag team thing.
You were talking about it earlier, off camera. Were you?
Yeah, I have a theory, and my theory is, and it's one of these interesting things about being a wrestling fan, where you have to go like, where are things going to fall on the card? And I think if it's like last year, where was it announced that all of Mania is going to be 7 hours, including pre-show? I think they said it after the fact, but I might be wrong.
Oh my God.
But I think if the Andre the Giant Battle Royale is on the pre-show,
which it is, I believe.
I believe it is. And if Elias wins and that tag match hasn't happened, I bet Elias is the tag partner.
That's where
Well, yeah, that's been the rumor.
That's interesting.
Because he was doing all this stuff with Elias before the whole tag team thing
Right,
happened.
and then they're just dissolved.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, my other guess, and this will be like he's not winning the belts, is either Mark Henry or the Big Show. Because Mark Henry is being put into
by Big Show.
Yeah, by the Hall of Fame. So I think it could be one of those two. But if it's one of those two, you
know for a fact they're not
going to win. the barn will pull it out somehow.
Right. Be fun to see though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I wouldn't want that though. Like it would be fun to see, but it feels like Braun has been putting in his time.
Yes, I agree.
And he definitely deserves a belt.
Boy, has he.
So I wouldn't want that to enter, and then and it could maybe the Big Show is now officially like on, like, because he was injured and now he's back. So maybe if that is a thing, then it would make sense. Like, okay, it's possible. All right, they can both get.
They get a legitimate run.
Yeah, but if it's Mark Henry, it's just like.
It's gonna be the nostalgia pop.
Right. So I definitely wouldn't want to see that because then I would be interested in the match, but not as interested.
Absolutely.
Then that excitement, like who's gonna win?
Who could win? Yeah, get that.
So I mean, we'll see. Or he can just do it by himself, which he's perfectly capable of. Or if he does a switcheroo where like maybe he ducks underneath the mat and then suddenly comes out the other side as Brain.
My goodness, and wins the title by itself.
Yes. And if he does that, like if he does that in the swiftness, like he literally kicks out somebody and he goes underneath, and within like a 15 to 10 second window, he switches up. I mean, I would be kind of excited about that.
So holding 2 belts at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
But then think of just the storylines, the mics. Like Cesaro and Sheamus would lose the belt to technically one person.
Oh my God.
Braun Strowman could take I'm just envisioning like you guys are so terrible.
Yeah, you lost
that you lost to one guy. Like everybody could take them. Like all the tag teams can take them to business, and they're literally going to drop down because think of like, you know what I'm saying? Just think of how you would feel. And now you're building up another storyline where now they're trying to redemption.
Right.
So, I mean, that would be interesting. I totally pulled that out of my butthole, but I actually really like that.
That wouldn't be bad at all.
Speaking of kind of moving on, Woken Matt Hardy. Goldust is today, like I said, it felt less matches, but some of the vignettes with Goldust, it's really feeling it. Like it was believable.
Well, that was the only thing is I felt like they were building up Goldust like with the R-Truth stuff, and I thought they were gonna really do like a match or a real run with it, and then it kind of got burnt off in like a pre-show or a Raw, and then that was it. And then Goldust has kind of been popping up here and there. He had a match with Cena. But I do like whenever they bring back those vignettes because that takes me back to like 1996, 97 when those things were happening.
Yeah, giving a taste of nostalgia is always good, and Goldust, the ultimate company man, he can still give you good matches, still's in shape. It's good for Matt Hardy to actually, people like to see wrestling still, spoiler alert, people actually still like to see wrestling, so it's good to see the OG get in the ring, and do his thing.
Yeah, and then you got Matt Hardy, and I love the woken, broken stuff.
It's amazing.
It's so fun and so funny and so silly, but in the best ways for me.
Yeah.
But there is a degree where I'm kind of like, there is a little part of me that's like kind of bummed out that he's only doing the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Right.
Because I'm kind of like,
crazy.
No, he's worked so hard.
Hey, give him something.
Like it doesn't have to be Bray because I felt like that was taken care of, but I'm kind of like, I give him something.
So do you think Bray's gonna come back?
I would
for
be
WrestleMania.
Cost him the match. The
maybe
Royal.
it'd be interesting if he sat this one because he was already kind of like he was in with Randy Orton last year, but the year before that was the infamous like Rock segment, where he was only in there for like 10 seconds. God. So that'd be very, and then the year before that was when he lost to Taker. So it'd be very like a good 4-year run of bleh for Bray.
He never has won. So.
Or maybe the lights go out because we're not expecting it because he's in the lake.
In the Rumble.
Right. And the lights go out and there is 5 final people left and all of a sudden you see Bray in the ring.
Which that'd be great.
That would be great. Like we I think we all understand his role. I do like him when the brothers were with him, but I think after the WrestleMania we might see.
Do you think they separated them too early?
I don't know. Some people just, I get that you have to change because if you stay the same, then it's going to become stale. But like I, for instance, can't envision the New Day separating anytime soon. I mean, maybe there'll be a storyline where they separate, and they tried to do that with Xavier and Bray Wyatt. But I remember that. It was kind of shaky, and then they went back. So maybe they separate where they tried to do it with. I think Xavier tried to do something with a belt, and like it was like to get the singles belt, he didn't make it. So I could see them separating for a moment, but not in like bad terms and not permanently.
Big E's doom. He should have had a run though.
Yeah,
like a title run, like legitimate with the New Day holding tag belts, and then him winning the title, at least Intercontinental. I'm like, man, that's another story though.
I'm waiting for that moment when they either do a superstar shakeup or a draft where they Dudley Boy them, where they're gonna be like, we're gonna take one of the New Day and put him on a different brand, and not tell them.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
I mean, I could. Who am I? I'm just but I wouldn't want to see that.
I wouldn't want to see it either.
But it might in the long run it might work out for them. So it's the same thing with Bray. It just felt like it was a complete thing, and now when they're separated, it's just kind of like he's kind of like lost. He's trying to figure out.
Well, the biggest issue with Bray's booking was like he came in with those 2 guys, and then it never felt like what they did with Daniel Bryan is what should have kept happening. He should have kept recruiting people. It should have been like the Undertaker's ministry, where like they're taking people and then suddenly they're showing up in hillbilly clothes, and you're like, oh my God, Bray keeps converting people.
The legend's growing. It's like the movement's growing.
And you can't. I don't know if you can do a cult leader character that only has 2 minions for 4 years. It doesn't feel like it really has momentum to it. And I think also with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, I'd like it if they told me what the stakes were other than a statue. Like I think it'd be good if they had said like
whoever wins this
gets to go for the Intercontinental or US belt.
Have they done that in the past?
Never.
Yeah, because as far as I know,
Cesaro won. Yeah, he got a little bit of a push, but then the next year was Big Show. The year after that was Corbin, and then last year was Mojo.
Yeah,
and there hasn't really been like
anything.
Here's what happens if you win, other than you get a gold statue.
Yeah, and you have that moment of glory.
Get your WrestleMania
that
moment
week, and then everybody forgets. So, because even Mojo was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and
seems like a lifetime ago, right? That he did anything like of note.
Yeah. So the chat, they're saying Big E definitely deserves a title. I definitely agree with that.
Yes.
I think somebody also said, sorry, you guys are typing so fast. I really appreciate you guys in the chat. But somebody said that Kofi should do the Reverend, the preacher. So I think it's what he dressed up as over Halloween, something like that.
I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
So yeah, I mean, definitely feeling all that. So we will see. I don't know. You know when stuff like that happens as far as Bray, like he might be injured, he might be recovering for that, or it might be just literally a vacation, and
he's like, I just need some time off.
Seriously.
But those moments where he appears in the ring and it's not. Who was before Matt? Who was he battling? Was it Finn?
Finn.
Finn
And then he
Balor.
got sick. That was the AJ Finn match.
Yeah, so like those moments where he's battling and it's you're excited to see how it goes and he does all these crazy moves. That's what I miss. But
Well, the bummer is too is that he's good. Like I was in the middle of that Finn Bray feud, which I was not a fan of. It just felt like, and that's the thing that sucks about Bray's character, as great as he is like Rollins. That felt like, I feel like anytime someone's feuding with Bray, it just feels like that's the storyline. You're kind of fast forward a little bit.
But my problem with that whole Bray with anybody is Bray always loses.
Yeah.
Like his shtick calls for he has to be more dominant.
Yeah.
Like it should have been him with the title and then his homies with the tag titles. There should have been a moment when they just had titles. Like they're supposed to be like he is supposed to be this dominant force though.
Well,
Undertaker 2.0 and he lost to Demon Finn, regular Finn, he loses to everybody.
and that's what I'm confused about too. It's just kind of like I understand there's some people that's just kind of the thing, but it's like at least
Not Bray, though.
At least it seems like I don't know, people in the chat, like, let me know the last time Bray won.
Like, but honestly, he won the title right clean, right? Pin great wrestlers to win the title. He lost it in 5 seconds to Randy Orton, though.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my goodness.
Well, the thing is, I think a creepy ghost character, which is what he's essentially kind of supposed to be,
Right.
you kind of want them to have, like, their goal should never be a title. Their goal should be chaos.
Right.
Like, they should be doing, like, backstage segments where it's like, oh my God, these people were just taken out. Who?
Right.
Why?
Yeah, but
and it's
Bray-
Bray. But
but-
there's no reason because it's madness.
Right.
Yeah, but Bray being the eater of worlds, being that guy, like, I am the guy. He has to have a
and
title.
his mic skills are so crazy that you would
man.
want to see him with the title
Yeah.
and then
A
see what he's
run.
going to say to the folks who try to challenge him. Like,
Yeah, like I'm like a CM Punk type run.
Yeah.
Like a long run where he just cannot be beat.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of somebody who wants to at least get in the match, John Cena, he is preaching again, calling to the heavens.
Oh, TK, did you just reference the GOAT? I think you just did.
Clearly, you guys didn't read the comments last week, but whatever. Obviously, you don't care.
I really don't.
So John Cena, he goes in. He's like, I guess silence means no, which is kind of true. Like,
Yeah.
in Tinder terms, they're bread covering or ghosting you. So literally, Undertaker has
Undertaker
ghosted.
swipe left.
Ghosted Cena. I mean, I think because my profession, whether I'm doing wrestling or in general, requires, off the cuff mic skills, that I really love somebody who can literally go off on a tangent and it's still engaging and you still want to hear what they have to say. So I definitely respect Cena for that.
Right.
But what do you guys think? I mean, next week is the week.
I mean, I'm glad they addressed one elephant in the room, which was that Cena's been so hungry for not just an Undertaker, but like a match at Mania.
Yeah.
I did like that I appreciated that they addressed, because a lot of fans online had kind of pointed out where it's like, just enter the Andre the Giant thing.
but that's my
do
thing
a
about-
tag match. So I'm glad they kind of addressed it.
I guess, but that's when the WWE Universe gets too smart for their own good, guys. Just play along.
Yeah, I know.
Hello, of course he can demand a match, guys. It's play along, guys. It's a show.
Oh, I know.
They
But
get a little too extra
appreciated-
sometimes, man.
I know, but I appreciated that. I do. What I think is going to happen is I think Cena's going to get in the middle of the ring. He's going to go, Taker, you're here, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, go to the back and see. Step between the ropes, and then you're going to hear the gong, and the lights are going to go down. The thing that's odd to me is people didn't like when they did this with Bray Wyatt, when The Undertaker just didn't show up until Mania. A lot of people were like, I don't feel a build to this. And, I mean, Cena's Cena, but it does feel odd that, like, I was thinking, like, okay, are they going to end the show with, like, Cena getting into his car
But
or something?
There's so
and
many
Undertaker's
ways.
there.
There's so many ways they do it. Like the thing
Yeah.
about the universe, they don't like getting surprised anymore. They always got to know
Right.
everything. So
Right.
would it be cool what if Cena is in the crowd, like you said? What if he comes? What if he's front row?
I think that's good.
You know what I mean? Undertaker comes out and like, get your ass in the ring.
I'd love it.
You know what I mean? Like,
if
let's
he's
go.
in the nosebleeds.
Like seriously, like, just you.
And the music goes off, and he's like,
John Cena. Like
it's too last minute.
yeah, it's not, and you see him running down the
Yeah.
aisles.
He's like, come down to the ring right now. Like you asked for it, I'm here. What's
Yeah.
up? And then call John Cena out.
Are we going to get American Badass Undertaker?
I would be
the
pleased.
Kid Rock. I think what may happen is, and I just saw your John Cena figurine.
You see the baby? See. I don't know where he came from.
Somebody in the comments said don't read. Somebody in the live chat said don't read the comments. Again, I'm not. I've been doing this long enough where the comments are whatever. It's just hilarious to me because last week I stated at the beginning of the show, like, look, they're not here. They're coming back. And people literally like, well, call me when they come back. I'm like,
call me.
Ain't nobody calling you.
Where are they at? I'm like, didn't I just? Okay.
They'll be back.
Yeah, they'll be back. It's just kind of like.
Occasionally
really...
you got to see my face though, so it is what it is. Occasionally you got to see me.
So I think Kid Rock, he might do
tip.
like a mini performance or something. They might bring him out because obviously they're gonna do the Hall of Fame.
Right.
But they might bring him out. He might do a song. That's when the song hits. You know, Cena. They'll probably pan to Cena. He's enjoying with everybody, eating the popcorn, all sort of stuff, and then he's.
I like that.
I mean, I like that.
I do
so,
too.
you know.
Yeah, it's weird because they are bringing back, because a lot of people are not fans of the American Badass era of The Undertaker. So it's very interesting if that is what happens.
Right.
And this is his final match.
Yeah.
that he's
And they'll
gonna
be like,
go
oh
out.
my God.
Yeah, in the motorcycle with the bandana. And if that's the reason they're inducting Kid Rock before they're inducting Motorhead and Cyndi Lauper, I guess I can go with that a little bit more.
Why not? Yeah, but also people understand like if Undertaker deserves to go out on his own terms, that's his character. That's what he wanted to be for a while. So who am I to say what I like? If he wants to come out as American Badass at like the end of his career, so be it.
But is he really going to end his career?
I think he's a Ric Flair. I think he's a guy who's like, I think I'm done, and then starts getting hungry after a couple months.
You think so? Huh? You never know because I don't know, man.
Because I know Mark Henry, he's like almost an ambassador, so he goes and does charity work.
He's in
for
a different
WWE.
place.
So with Undertaker, I'm willing to bet that he's on a legend contract, but we never see him. So or as far as I know, let me know in the chat. Like,
seriously,
does he show up on live event? Like, I'm sure he doesn't. If he showed up on live event, we'd all hear about it. So what is he doing in the time, because we haven't seen him in like a year.
Chilling.
So but you can only chill for so long.
Real talk, right?
So
I remember a couple years ago, Mick Foley made a joke. I think at a WWE event where he was like, he said like he talked to the Undertaker and said, "Whatever you do, never get on Twitter." Because he doesn't want that mystique to go away because the Undertaker's tweeting about stuff.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's why he's the wife posts pictures sometimes.
That's
His wife
smart.
posts,
Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff I do think about where it's like the Undertaker is the one person who still has this mystique.
Yeah.
So when you do see these photos of like him in the kitchen with like a beanie on.
Yeah, because people can't like stomach the fact that guys, it's gonna have to end sometime. Guys.
Oh, I know.
Like he might be getting tired of keeping that up.
Right.
He like to be in the kitchen with the apron on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
which is fine, but that's the whole thing with
That's
social
why I want a
media.
definitive ending.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with
right.
social media, the good and bad of it. Like, for instance, Nia and Alexa Bliss, they're actually really good friends.
They are.
I have noticed on social media that she doesn't post as much, but
Smart.
I mean, we know.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes
Yeah.
away. It takes away from what's going on. Like all the women, as far as I know, the majority of the women, I see them all together.
Yeah.
On social media. So then when they have these in-ring kind of squabbles, I'm like, you was just at her house yesterday, like.
Yep.
You took the chicken home? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
So I that kind of, some of those stories take away, but then you also have to, what are they going to do? They're going to get a separate one and get another one for their life. So it's one of those things where and then also the social media on the show is a whole nother beast. I'm just not a fan of. But I think another thing that I think we could have dealt without is Elias and the Heath Slater. What do you guys think of that?
Man,
That was a squash
it's
match.
like they didn't have nothing going on.
Yeah.
I guess like Heath Slater now has a shirt that Rhino was wearing. I do enjoy that Elias is over with the crowd, because when that gimmick first started and he came to the main roster, I was the one person that amongst my wrestling friends, I was like, I like this because it is so trolly.
Yeah, I was not
and
feeling
everyone
it.
was
Yeah.
like, you're crazy. And I'm like, it's going to go over.
Now look.
And now it's so over.
Super over.
They're literally releasing an album of his bad songs, which I'm
Cheese
like,
and crackers.
Live that gimmick.
That's the
And
definition
even
of
Cena
over.
brought it
Oh, yeah,
up in
that's
his
huge.
in his
promo.
right.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like it is getting over. And I think from what I heard, I don't know if we said it last week or I do way too many wrestling shows. But I believe his shirt's the #1 like merchandise that's being
That's
sold.
crazy.
That does surprise me.
I think. Correct me in the chat, but I think
I think I read that too.
If it's even top 5, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Let's be honest.
I love that. I love that he's over. It's such a trolly character, and I love that he does the oldest wrestling heel gimmick of like, your town stinks.
Yeah, because he was over and he was like, he reeled it back. He's like, hold on, no, y'all. You guys are supposed to hate me.
It's the oldest wrestling gimmick.
He like destroyed Atlanta.
Yeah, but it's like he always, and I love how he brings the the current like events, like when he was in Cleveland, and he's like,
Yes.
well, LeBron's gonna leave. Like,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
how he brings like the current stuff where it does kind of hurt a little bit, because
Yeah.
like we have a girl, I work for TMZ, and we have a girl who's all about Cleveland. She's swearing up and down that LeBron's not leaving, like literally, like, you know, in tears. And so you have people who are passionate about stuff like that, and then
Oh,
you have
yeah.
this dude in the ring saying it's happening. Like, you don't want to see that when
Yeah.
you're trying to enjoy something. So I definitely
Your escape
appreciate
from your
that.
escape.
That always reminded me of like when Dwayne Johnson, remember when he used to do did the concert. He was like, "I'm in Sacramento." He goes, "And the best part about it, and I'll be leaving Sacramento."
Yeah.
They were like, "Yay!" They're like, "Boo!"
I love that, because that's the old God, is it Family Guy episode where they had to be like, your current town I am in is terrible.
So good. That is one of my favorite gimmicks.
All right, hold the phone, guys. I have a very special guest. I think we need a drum roll.
Yeah.
Since I've been on this show, I haven't seen her because she's been working
Work.
hard.
Working
Working
where I work. Working where I
Working
work.
hard.
What's up?
Hey!
See, one person of the team.
Woo! Yeah. I've literally had a direct conflict with Raw for ever since the Raw After Elimination Chamber. I think.
Oh, wow.
I think
Okay.
it's been a while. It's a series of campaigns at Hyper RPG, which Cameron works at Hyper RPG. Yeah, I miss it. I miss it
They
so
miss
much.
you. Trust me.
You're the Undertaker in this scenario.
Seriously.
Oh
And
man,
she
I love
coming
that.
back like, yo.
She's
She
here.
has
No
Twitter.
answer is an answer.
I know.
Yeah.
Hit her up.
Yeah,
Like,
hit me up on Twitter. I'm trying to bring up the chat room. I was doing
somebody said she's alive.
yes, yeah. Should I do a quick pop up right now?
Oh my goodness.
Man, yeah. So it basically came just in time for predictions of WrestleMania. Unless
We got a little bit more. A little
Yeah,
bit
a
more.
little bit more.
We
Okay.
have one more.
One more?
The big dog and
Well,
the beast.
we do have a little bit. Did you get to see the Nia
Oh, yeah,
Alexa
Asuka,
Bliss?
sorry
'Cause
about
Okay,
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
was speed, like, you know how you speed read?
Speed running it.
Speed scanning. There, so I've gotten a little bit of Raw that
That's
happened
fine.
tonight.
Yeah.
Well,
like everything from like skipping around, but oh my God. Okay, so Braun Strowman, he came out as his twin brother
Brain.
Yes.
Long lost twin.
because
I'm
they
feeling
had
it.
glasses on.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
I
it.
completely believed it. I completely
Yeah.
did.
I was invested.
It obviously was. I could
pull it
imagine the womb that those two had to come out of.
God bless the mother.
Oh my goodness.
God bless her.
I mean,
Yeah.
just think of all those football players and basketball players. They're like 6'5".
Woo.
And
Man.
they usually got their mothers are typically, you might have some tall ones, but their mothers are usually like smaller sized women, which is unbelievable. But yeah, Asuka and Dana Brooke defeats Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. We knew this was gonna happen.
I mean, the main thing with this was obviously the Nia Jax stuff, which
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit about social media and how it's like you see her and Alexa are friends. I don't like this storyline because it makes me uncomfortable.
about the whole like the comments and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
also
weight-
the fact,
the weight and stuff like that?
Yeah, I feel like, and someone said to me online, someone's like, "But it's working.
It
Nia's
is.
getting over," and I'm like, "There's
True.
other ways to get someone over."
I agree.
And I think like the fact that they're using Mickie James, who 10 years later people still talk about the Piggy James storyline about like, why would you do that? That's gross.
Right.
And so now
So
that
it's
she's
stuck with her.
So now that she's a part of this storyline where it's like this woman's fat and that's why she's awful,
Right.
and making her cry and all this other stuff. And again, because of shows like Total Divas, we see like she still is actually affected by those things. So the fact that the writers of WWE were
They're like, yeah, this'll work.
This is gonna be great. We're gonna make her cry for real. Here you go.
Yeah.
It just feels gross as hell.
Yeah, you know what it kind of reminds me of? Back when they had Natalia and they had her like
Farty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had her farting and like peeing on herself or
Very,
stuff like that.
very-
It was completely
It was
unnecessary.
in
Yeah.
bad. It was in bad taste.
Well, the thing we were
Yeah.
talking about earlier was like my issue a lot with the women's storylines. As great as the matches end up being, is a lot of the storylines tend to be about like mean girls or like these are bitchy people who blah blah blah. And it's not just about, and that's why I like the Asuka Charlotte storyline because it's just about who's the best.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Stone Cold might occasionally call someone a fat piece of trash, but that wasn't the storyline.
No, it never was. He was just talking. He was just talking.
Right.
He was just stomping mud holes.
and walking them dry, brother.
I mean, The Rock said occasional things about people's looks, but that wasn't the storyline.
it's a different era, though, brother. That's a
Yeah.
totally
Oh, I know.
different era. They were
The-
savage back then.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
more of a
problem-
dimension to it, kind
Yeah.
of a thing. It's kind of tired. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of tired to just have that when it comes to females.
But
Agreed.
but
Yeah.
the thing that made it good though, because with Nia, like we obviously know that she was kind of, maybe except for Asuka, she was taking over like the women's locker room, but we weren't feeling anything. I wasn't feeling anything for her, and I didn't start feeling anything for her until I saw her on Total Divas. I'm like, oh, she's a sweetheart, and it's just like I think they're trying to figure out a way how to get everybody to see her in that light. It wasn't necessarily the best thing, but it gave you empathy because no matter who you are, everybody has their insecurities or whatever, and that's an obvious one, and they use that, you know, to put it there. And I'm willing to bet she had to okay it. I don't think.
Oh my God!
I don't think they would have forced her to do it. Is she really? I mean, obviously.
Well, you know, they're kind of like, hey, we have this storyline for you. This is happening. And are you really going to be like, no?
I think she has a little bit. I think she has a little bit more.
Little bit of cachet.
Little bit of cachet where she could say.
Well,
it's not gonna fly.
I'm wondering to some extent, honestly, and it'll depend on if she wins. If she wins at Mania and gets the belt, then it'll be like, okay, not to say it was all worth it, but But I'm also kind of wondering if this is a punishment storyline, which WWE is known to do, because I think people might
forget off that one time.
Well, people might forget right after No Mercy, right when Neville left, she left too for about a month, and Alexa Bliss had to come out and go like, she's just tired, and WWE was like, she's just tired, and then we started to hear nothing confirmed, but we started to hear stuff about like. She wasn't happy with these storylines. She called The Rock, who's her cousin, real cousin, not like Roman Reigns' fake cousin. And The Rock said, if you're not happy, walk. And so she did, and then there was this whole thing.
Terrible
And then
advice.
if we remember, she came back, and her first storyline was, you're dating Enzo.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's just bad advice.
That whole
And then Enzo had his things.
And
and then there was like about a month, and now it's like, we're doing a storyline where we're going to call you a fat piece of crap.
Ooh.
And make you cry. And
You
I'm
know,
like,
you've
are
got
these punishment storylines?
You've got a really good point going on there. It actually makes complete sense.
Yeah, she doesn't get the belt, then that's for sure. But I heard with those rumors that they were just rumors. Like it feels like
they might just be rumors.
Yeah, from what I heard from other folks, they said The Rock didn't say that. She's genuinely like, so you know, for instance, Xavier Woods got hurt. But he was literally at some
he's playing Far Cry online all the time.
Somewhere. So it's just kind of like, because I remember when it happened, I texted him like, yo, is everything cool? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, okay. I'm flying out now. All right, just double checking. But it's just kind of like maybe she just needed that moment because they're on the road the whole time. So maybe that's the case. I definitely see your point. I want her to get the belt. I'm just really concerned that she because Alexa is just amazing on the mic, and I know it's not all about mic skills.
It's a lot to do with it though.
Yeah, it just if she gets the belt and she can't. You know, because we can only feel sorry for you for so much.
Without question.
Yeah, it's like, all right, now use it. Like you now have got the belt. You now pretty much took care of her. Now what are you gonna do?
Right.
And now she has to develop a character after that. So we'll see. If she doesn't get the belt, then I'm not a fan of the storyline. The writers need to get some women on their staff. The big dog and the beast, they go at it. What y'all feeling about this?
I have a nitpick, and it's a nitpick I've brought up about past wrestling things. I never, ever,
speak on it.
Ever understand whenever they have, and it's to put bodies in there, but whenever they have like the wrestlers who are going to break up the fight, when it was Taker Brock, it's always with Brock now. It's Taker Brock or anything, there's like a group of wrestlers. And I always look, and it's always like a bunch of heels where I'm like, why would they give a shit? Why would the Bard or the Ballard Club or anybody else care?
Or when they went over to like SmackDown, went over to Raw, and they were all together, but they were all fighting like the week before. It's just kind of like
or when you see like you see heels grabbing Brock, they're like, Brock, stop! And I'm like, you're a heel. Why do you care?
Yeah.
Like no,
It's
just point him in a direction. Let him run.
But that's a very minor thing. I mean, Heyman. I love Heyman on the mic. I can watch Heyman talk forever.
Heyman's.
He should have like where he reads the Bible.
Oh yeah, I've always said if I ever ran for president, he'd be my vice president. 100%. I wouldn't care about
Not your
anything.
advocate, your vice president.
Real talk. I'm not even gonna lie.
He put you over so hard.
Think about that. You imagine him like bringing me up to the state? But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm talking about presidency.
For me, I want him to start his own church.
Like
the Church of Paul Heyman.
Seriously.
And I would just be like, here.
I'm like, you take it all, bro.
Yeah, those dollar bills or those are Bibles.
That's Bibles,
dollar bills.
pamphlets.
It's like what are you, the strip club and the church? at the same
Whatever
time?
you need, Paul Heyman. Whatever you need.
Really though, you want him in the re-election when you've already won the presidency in the second time. So
I
he can
need
get
to come
the
back.
reigning, defending president.
You're president of the
He's with my
United States.
hypothetical, never gonna happen scenario.
Wow. So you guys for this match, you guys.
I don't. So this is what we we're talking about off air, is about placement on the card. About if this is the final match,
Oh, God.
if it's not AJ Nakamura, and it's not Taker Cena. If this
Lord.
is the final match, Brock's done. This is it, I think.
Give him a send-off, a proper send-off.
I think it's he's like Vince loves him, so I think he's like, I'll let you go. You're gonna get the final match.
Right.
The fireworks will go off. Yeah, it's a weird thing because like I don't hardcore hate Roman Reigns, but there's that thing of like to try and act like the Superman punch is the most devastating move in the world
Stop.
is silly to me.
Well, only next to the spear.
Yeah.
So
like the spear.
The two move Maverick.
Savage.
And it's just savage.
yikes.
And
Nice.
it's just one of those things.
Flamethrower.
And also the thing too is like, again, it's that as fans we know too much, but the whole concept of like Brock Lesnar is Vince McMahon's boy, and I'm like, you've been shoving this guy down my throat for 4.5 years. You're gonna tell me Brock's the boy and not Roman? Get out of here.
But at the same time, in the same breath, though, Brock's a part-time. He's like a part-time champion.
I get that.
He got to get but you can't keep hanging on the whole like, well, he delivers and he sells seats, guys. He got to be there.
Right.
You need a champion that's there. Enough of this
Yeah,
nonsense.
well, you know, I totally understand that.
We got to go.
Something that kind of helped me come to terms with not having Brock Lesnar on Raw as much as I wanted him to be because he's Universal Champion and you kind of need a defending champion. I started thinking of him kind of like you do the movie Jaws, where he is, and he's like a shark, and he's that threat that you always have, and he comes up, he feeds, and then he's gone again, and then everybody's going, all around.
I'm with you 100%.
But that's why I want us to kill the shark for this.
Yeah,
for this
that's what I'm
particular
trying to say.
time.
It's run its course is what I'm trying to say.
He can't come back.
Yeah, he can always come back. I'm just saying it's run its course.
Jaws 2, Jaws 17, it's a possibility.
Yeah,
but
I
at
think for
this
me-
point, we need to move.
That's all I'm trying to say.
And I agree with you. I just think the storyline of what's essentially I love the WWE more than this guy is a weak storyline. That's where I'm just sitting there. I'm like, just fight.
Yeah, just
I don't
beat
care
each other
who
up.
loves the company more.
Like I said, and I love Brock. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying there's times where the title's not even defended.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Come on now.
All right. Well, it's been an exciting evening. Surprises, etc.
I'm excited.
Many.
Literally, Tony's telling us we need to wrap.
Tony about to come in here and kick this door open.
Here's the deal. You say your predictions in literally 10 seconds. Give your social media, and let's get out of here.
Okay.
So we'll start with the
what's my moniker?
Guest hosts. They're not here permanently, folks. We start with the guest hosts.
Y'all can have
The American Dream.
America's sweetheart.
The America's sweetheart.
Yes. You can follow your boy on Twitter, Instagram at Evan T Mack. Predictions. I got nothing. AJ retaining.
You can find me on twitter.com/Jurassic Alien. I'm usually there promoting Hyper RPG stuff where I'm both a writer and a host and a producer. My predictions, oh boy, Asuka's going to take it, and then she's going to go to SmackDown. They're going to Superstar Shakeup.
Jurassic what?
Alien.
I love that.
Like Jurassic Park and the movie Alien.
I'm on
my
that.
two favorite movies.
I'm on that. I'm following you right now.
Miss, are you gonna be joining us next week? What's the deal?
It is literally a direct conflict
I
with this show
digress.
right now.
Give us your predictions and tell them where they can find you so they can send you those tweets.
Yeah, okay. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markeia McCarty. This is MarkeiaMcCarty. I'll be on Collider Heroes every Wednesday. So check me there for, and then of course Tuesdays, 2 p.m. right here on Popcorn Talk.
Nice.
Marvel movie news.
Ooh.
Please see us there. Legion is starting April 4th.
This
with
year,
that.
next week.
So yeah. So next week we'll probably have our Legion review. And otherwise, the show that's in direct conflict with this is Hyper RPG. It's a horror tragic RPG called 10 Candles.
Sick.
Yeah, you can catch the podcast afterwards. You don't have to watch it during this show.
Sick.
So yes, predictions. Oh gods. Okay. Yeah, Cena and Undertaker will happen.
Yes.
And they'll retire Undertaker again. That's my prediction.
My prediction, definitely Undertaker's happening, but I've been saying this for weeks. The Rock is coming on. Tweet me when you see him.
Do what, TK?
Can't say.
What?
Plug a new movie, brother.
Tweet, well, I mean, that's obviously going to be scrolling in the background. We already know that. But
Yeah,
tweet me when you see that.
Rampage.
Yeah, and Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle will win the mixed tag match.
Oh, hot take.
With an
Hot
armbar.
take.
With an,
Hot, super hot take. No one sees that coming.
I think they'll do a double submission armbar and the Angle.
Oh, I need
ankle lock.
Shane. I need Triple H to and then Stephanie win that match.
Oh, boy.
Shock the
I
world.
mean, yeah, that would I would want to see that, but I would like to see that too. Maybe in the alternate universe. Anywho, you guys can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. I say again, I said at the beginning, and I know my folks on live chat, I really appreciate your support, all that good stuff. But I just want to, try to appease everybody. They are coming back. Just all that good stuff. Tweet them. They're coming back eventually. Other than that, you can find me on everything at TMZ. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can also see me on TMZ. I write for Breach Report, uprocks.com, etc., etc., etc. Just type my name. You're going to see some stuff. Other than that, we will see you guys next week. Yeah.
Yeah,
next
after
week.
after WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Wow.
The Raw after WrestleMania.
Wow. That's going to be
That's a crazy
big.
one.
It's a barn burner, brother.
Yes. So we'll
Slobber
hopefully,
knocker.
hopefully we'll all be joined, but other than I will definitely be here because I need to get some more jobs because y'all be working. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week. Yeah.
From executive producers Markeia McCarty, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.